Alright, the next story quest is called Unto the Breach, given to us by Alice in the Rising Stones, and here we go. Good news, Mercy. Thancred and Urianger have finished their tour of Garlemald and are on their way back here even as we speak. As we still haven't heard anything on the towers from the Alliance, I'm hoping they might be able to shed some light on things. They're due to arrive any moment now, so let's see what they have to say, eh? Cutscene. In walks Thancred. Ah, welcoming party. You needn't have gone to the trouble. From what I hear, you've been more than busy enough as it is. Honestly, you might have waited for me to return before discovering a cure for tempering. As it is, I can't even pretend to have been involved. Well, if it's any consolation, I myself was little more than a spectator. I can't do accents really well right now. The lion's share of the credit must go to Alice, Graha, and Mercy. But I believe I speak for the rest of us when I say we are proud to have rendered what little assistance we could. As you will also have heard, though it hasn't all been tales of triumph, just as we were taking a step towards finally addressing the primal threat, a pile of fresh problems landed in our lap. Alice. Anyway, it's good to have you back, though I can't help noticing that we're one Urianger short of a scouting party. You haven't lost him, have you? Oh, I couldn't lose him if I tried. And I did try, repeatedly, but no. He decided to linger in El Amigo to reprise Raban and the others of how the land lies in Garlemald. Then mayhap you would do the same for us, says Y'shtola. Indeed, it was just as Lee said, worse, in fact, devastation as far as the eye could see. Nerva and the third, however, were notable by their absence. Might they have met their end at the hands of Xenos and Fandaniel? Perhaps, or perhaps they simply lost the will to fight. You see, the capital has been plunged into a deathly silence, with one exception, the Imperial Palace. It was a busy place before the war, but it has grown busier still, with throngs of soldiers and civilians working there day and night to rebuild, or rather transform it. Transform it into what? That is a difficult question to answer. The construction is vast and unsettling to behold, like something from a nightmare. According to Urianger, certain aspects of its design were clearly devised with a manipulation of ether in mind, magitech, in other words. Yet, as unnerving as said edifice was, it was nothing next to the sight of its builders. They swarmed the place like so many insects, working with nary a word exchanged between them. No one overseeing construction, no one barking orders. It was as if they were possessed or tempered. We wanted to investigate more closely, but given our suspicions, it seemed wiser not to take the risk. If Fandaniel could bind Bahamut to his will, might he have done the same to the people of Garlemald? Excuse me. Whatever the truth may be, this information is certain to prove valuable. You have our thanks. Well, be sure to save some for Urianger, which reminds me, I have a message from Alamigo. Raban is hosting a meeting to discuss the latest findings on the towers, and he requested our presence. Then why not leave that to us? You must be weary from your mission. Shakes his head. No, I'm fine. Those towers have been on my mind since I first spied one on the way back, and I'm keen to get to the bottom of this. In that case, I shall stay and begin looking into another matter, as I promised Kryl. We need not all attend, says Y'shtola. Alphinaud nods. Very well, I suggest the rest of us make our way to Alamigo forthwith. The sooner we leave, the more time we will have to speak with Urianger before the meeting. Nods all around, and we are off, leaving Y'shtola behind. Oh, we're gonna need a black mage, ain't we? Should've brought a mystic, yeah. I played a game called Terra, T-E-R-A, for a while. I liked it a lot. It was like a first-person MMORPG. You could play in third person, and often I did, depending on the job I was playing, or the class, or whatever. but you actually literally had an aiming reticle, and you actually had to aim most of your abilities at a target. Like you had to have them basically lit up in your targeting reticle. Um, it was really fun. It was a really fun game. They had like this. I think I don't remember all the names they had. I think it was a Marauder, which was using the two-handed great axe. They had a warrior that was like sword and sword, and you could tank as the warrior, but it was all about dodging at literally the right time, and you could tank as a lancer, I think they were called, which is a long pole arm, like more like what you would see on horses doing jousting, so like a jousting pole arm, and a big like kite shield. And they were fucking fun. But your healers were a mystic, and that's where the song "Should Have Brought a Mystic," comes from somebody on YouTube. And I think it might have been a white mage, it might have been I don't know what the other one was, but a mystic could heal with direct heals, but mostly what they did is they laid down orbs that were like glowing and maybe a foot or two off the ground, and they would just sit there. And some orbs would restore hit points, some would restore mana, but that was the point. Like Mystic had more utility, and the other healer was just heals. That was basically it. But very very fun game. Is a new take on MMORPGs for me with the targeting reticle. But anyway, ow. Okay, here we go. Urianger cutscene. My friends, much and more have I heard of your travails in our absence. Heartened am I to see you all hale and whole. As are we to see you safely returned from your mission, Urianger. I trust Thancred made you feel welcome, says Graha. Well, well, if it isn't Alphino and his merry band, says an unknown voice for now. Arenvald? No. Yeah? No. Arenvald! Ha, I got it right. Arenvald, whatever are you doing here? When we spoke via Link Pearl, you told me you'd be away on a mission. And who's to say this isn't part of it? But enough about that. It's good to see you looking so similar. I thought you'd have grown a bit taller after a whole year in another world, but apparently not. Arenvald is a kind of silverish, like a dullish silver, but a good silverish, with some white, armor wearing, blonde haired, big grin. Has like a swat, like a paint, like a white paint thing across his face, just one, like down across his nose, above one eye, and ends on the other cheek. Sword and board, I think. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you. While my soul may be a year older, my body has hardly aged, as you are well aware. And may I remind you that we Elazin are known to be late bloomers, especially in terms of our height. Mark my words, the day will come when even a great Aurochs such as yourself, even a great Aurochs, that seems wrong, such as yourself, will crane your neck to meet my eye. And they go on to talk for a little bit. Urianger says, 'Twas not until my 20th summer that I myself outgrew my boyish proportions, though Moonbreeder towered over me nonetheless. Arenvald brings out the best in Alphino, doesn't he? They both seem so at ease in each other's company, it's almost endearing. I nod, and Urianger does as well in agreement. So what exactly brings you here? Oh, Fordola mostly. We need to go over a few things before we set out. Set out? Wait, does this have something to do with the towers? What gave you that impression? Actually, tell me later. You've got a meeting to go to. I'll see you afterwards, alright? He turns and goes. He doesn't seem to have a shield anywhere on his body, so it just might be sword. But he walked off, kind of suspiciously. If Fordola is going with him, that must mean... My apologies. As Arenvald rightly pointed out, we have a meeting to attend. Let's be about it. I know the name Fordola. I'm trying to remember who exactly it is. I'm so bad at this, man. Female, for sure. So now we're at a table. They're not gonna. Please do voice, so I don't have to. Please, they're not gonna do it, but please do it anyway.
Ere we begin,
Yes.
I would like to offer my gratitude to Masters Thancred and Urianger. Tis no small feat to infiltrate the Imperial capital and live to tell the tale, much less in times of civil war. Thanks to them, we may plot our course in full knowledge of how the winds blow in Garlemald.
What do I do?
Full glad are we to have been of service. But verily, such dangers as we did encounter pale into insignificance next to those faced by our comrades. An Ascian, armed with the might of Bahamut, bent on bringing about the final days.
Theatrics. He sought only to make a show of the power at the Telophoroid's disposal. But since then we have seen no sign of this Fandaniel or his worm. And while we've done what we can to bolster our defenses, there's no telling where he might strike next.
Whenever and wherever it may be, we must use the intervening time to learn more of our enemy. 'Twas with this in mind that we dispatched scouts to investigate the towers.
The white mage leader of Cordania. The Elder Seedseer, as they call her.
Our advance party took longer than expected to return. And when they did, they tried to kill us. Luckily, I'd seen that sort of thing before, and we were able to restrain them before they did any harm. Then it was just a matter of letting the Porksies do their work.
Are you saying they were tempered?
Once they'd come back to their senses, they told us everything they could. It seems that just as they were getting close to the tower, they heard an ear-splitting roar, and that was the last thing they remembered. But what worries me most is what they were saying right before they attacked. Glory be to Garlemald.
It's thinking poses all around.
The Tempered have heretofore ever been thralls to primal entities. Yet these hapless souls were compelled to accept a nation as the object of their devotion. This calleth into question all that we know of the condition.
Would that the unsettling news ended there. Alas, there is more. Following the earlier reports of missing Amalja, we have learnt that other beast tribes have suffered similar losses.
This is Emmerich.
And we now have reason to believe that the abductions are connected to the appearance of the towers. Our scouts sighted black-garbed figures leading shackled Ixal in the direction of the tower in Dravania. The Temple Knights were able to intercept them before they could reach their destination, liberating the Ixal and apprehending their captors, each of whom was found to be equipped with Garlean arms and armor.
So the Empire is the common thread.
With the support of Xenos, it seems likely that Fandaniel has rallied a faction of the splintered Garlean army to the banner of the Telophoroi.
Nanamo was her name. There was a previous video where I couldn't remember what her freaking name was.
Lord Hien reached the same conclusion when I shared our findings with Doma. The plan had been to march on Garlemald from the east and west in order to force a peace treaty. But the situation has changed. Dealing with the threat of the towers must come first.
But only those who can resist tempering.
Given the nature of the enemy and the proven risk of tempering, I could think of few suitable candidates to aid in this task. But I am confident in my choice.
Oh, Fordola. Shit.
What?
She was like that fiery redhead
Resistant to primal influence as they are, they can investigate the towers without fear of being turned.
I forgot that Arenvald was doing so much work with her. She's bad. I fucking love her. She crosses her arms. She seems
We are glad to put our gifts to use, Commander.
unhappy. But she never really seems happy, so.
Gifted or not, going behind enemy lines remains a perilous undertaking. But we must know more if we're to strike back at our foe. I'm counting on you.
If it would give us the upper hand, I'd do it 100 times over. We won't let you down.
Alphino seems
That concludes the briefing. You two, make ready and join your escort.
Are you certain about this, Arenvald?
I am. Come on, let's talk outside.
Arenvald, okay, so I described him with that one slash of white, like a thick white line across his face, but it is an X, it's just there's not a whole lot on the other part that goes down the other cheek. And as for the rest of it up above, the eyebrows and nose, his hair covers that portion of his face, so. Alphino stands up to join him outside to talk. Fordola joins. For now. Cutscene goes black. Alright, we talk to Arenvald to finish. Now that it's out in the open, I don't have to keep it under my proverbial hat anymore. Cutscene.
So you know, I've already gone through all the formalities at the Rising Stones. Made sure to inform Jamolda and Vmar at Ralga's Reach as well.
I don't know. Well, I think Jamolda sounds familiar.
Arenvald, I admire your enthusiasm, but this is far more dangerous than anything you have done before.
I know the risks. And I also know what's in store if we don't stop Fandaniel from carrying out his plan. With this power of mine, I can make a difference. If I stood idly by, I would regret it for the rest of my life.
And you, Fordola? Is this what you want?
What are you asking me for? It's not like I have any say in the matter.
Don't pretend. We both know Commander Aldin gave you a chance to refuse. And you didn't.
Yeah, Fordola.
So the Empire's finished, is it? Well, that's what they're all saying. That the great and glorious Garlemald slit its own throat. And now, from out of its twitching carcass crawls the Telophoroi with bloody Xenos at its head! I fought for Garlemald. Killed for Garlemald. What was I part of? I need to know. Whatever it is, I need to know.
This gets a nod from Alphino. He looks back
Very
to
well. If your hearts are set on this, I shall not stand in your way.
They give each other a fist bump. Arenvald holds his out first. Oh, Alphino bumps it with like a fist half the size of Arenvald's. Although Arenvald does have that glove armor on.
If you've finished with your touching display of camaraderie, I have a question. Which tower are you planning to investigate, exactly?
Well, the one in Girabani is said to be tightly guarded. It's patrol after patrol out there, apparently. We'd be spotted before we got anywhere near it.
Which is why we've set our sights on the one in Pagalthan instead. There shouldn't be anything like as many Imperials to worry about down there.
Even so, I doubt the local Amalja will look kindly on it if they catch you sneaking around in their territory.
Fordola and I had a chance to learn the lie of the land in our previous forays there. We might still find trouble, but at least we won't lose our way. Well, we'd best not keep them waiting any longer.
Mayhap when all of this is over, we could take another trip to Loxeld. I would have you know I've become a rather capable swimmer since our last visit.
Ha! I'll believe that when I see it. Though, to be fair, getting into deep water does seem to be a Scion's lot in life. Take care, eh?
And he jogs to catch up with Fordola, who left a couple seconds earlier.
It means a lot, you know. You coming with me?
I'll still owe you for saving my skin, don't I? Can't return the favour if I'm not there.
I dare say you'll get your chance before long. That Fandaniel sounds like a tricky customer. Too much for the likes of me, anyway.
Sorry, too much for the likes of me, anyway.
But we both know I'd just be another soldier if it weren't for my gift. And I need to be a damn sight more than that given what's coming.
He doesn't seem to be flirting with her, like, at least not overtly.
I realise I can't hold a candle to a hero like the Warrior of Light, or Alphino, for that matter. He might look like he's 12, but he's seen more action than most people see in a lifetime. No, the fact is I'm nothing like them, and maybe I never will be. But I'll be damned if I don't try. They're counting on me. On us. So let's give it our all.
He smiles and continues walking. She frowns a little bit at him for a couple seconds and then continues on.
He does not want for conviction, that much is certain. So let us have faith in him. Him and Fordola both. While they see to the towers, I would attend to another task. Chasing down this lunar Bahamut.
We're getting a call.
Ah, bloody thing.
Tataru.
Can you hear me? It's Tataru. Ah, I'm happy to say we've managed to find Estinian.
Good timing.
And I'm sorry to say he went running off again the moment we told him about Bahamut.
That sounds about right.
But he did mutter something about heading to Ishgard, so if you're quick, you might still be able to catch him.
We let the team know.
Even if we set out this instant, he may already have left by the time we arrive. Have her send the Bonanza to Ishgard. It may prove useful should we need to give chase.
We're sending the Bonanza to Ishgard.
Gladly. I'll see to it as soon as Kryl and I get back to the Rising Stones. Good luck.
While you go off on your dragoon hunt, Urianger and I will return to headquarters. We have much to tell the others.
I wish you every success in your search for our elusive friend. May we all meet again ere long.
Let's use Alice and Graha. Are they all coming with me? Oh, they kind of have been for much of this, or me going with them, I don't know. Unto the Breach is complete. Are we gonna have a bonus? Nope, okay, cool. So that's the end of the quest, end of the video. There will be a link in the description of the video that will send you to my Google Doc PowerPoint, where every slide is an item on Amazon that I recommend because I personally use them all the freaking time. If you purchase any of those items with the link on that particular slide, I will get a small cut. I think I've received $0 at all so far in 4.5, something like that, months of doing this. And they only give you like 180 days total to try to, which is weird. Just, it's not costing you anything, I would assume, to just let me keep the link and just keep doing it until I make some sales. Whatever. But anyway, I'm just doing these videos for fun. But if you want to throw money my way by actually buying something that you're going to use and like need to buy anyway, but you happen to use my link to do it, I think that's the best way. Because this isn't a money-making channel, it's just for fun. But I'll see you guys next time.